Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us for this segment, we have Gil Friedrich, Vice President of Email Security at Checkpoint Software, to discuss student loan scams and how AI is impacting the cybersecurity industry. Gil, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Great to be here. Thank you.
You got it. What is your role at Checkpoint Software?
VP of Email Security, so managing our email security business within Checkpoint.
With federal loan interest rates starting up again, how bad are actors taking advantage of this opportunity to target students and their families?
So, we don't know yet, but we're seeing from past experience that every time there's something in the news, hackers are very, very likely to leverage that. And I think this is where the concern is coming from. If it's Black Friday, they would leverage that. If it's tax season, they would leverage that. And now when there's something like this that is widespread, I think it's a fair assumption that they'll try to abuse this in order to monetize and, hack into people's accounts.
Why has there been a rise in business email compromises?
So the rise started, I want to say, as soon as people moved their email to the cloud. So back in 2016, 2017, that's when we started to see the trend. And really, it was because they were able to take over accounts in Office 365, in Gmail, companies' Gmail accounts, etc. That's probably what triggered it. And over time there were other factor or accelerators. When you look at something like Bitcoin and the ability to collect your money without being traced, that led to more ransomware attacks. So business email compromise would lead to downloading malware that would infect your PC, etc. But I would say initially that trend of moving to the cloud started it, and then more digitization in the way we do banking, in the way we do financial transactions, just allowed hackers to make money out of it, and that obviously was the key driver to all of it.
How does new tech such as generative AI create a more vulnerable environment for hackers to target citizens for phishing schemes? And what forms of communication are bad actors using to reach out to borrowers?
Great question. So maybe I would start with the second part. We tend to put more trust when we're approached twice, right? So we see hackers sending us an email, but also sending us text. If it's a more sophisticated attack, we might even get a phone call, or they would reach out to us in social media, in LinkedIn, etc. So definitely we're seeing this attempt to, build trust and rapport by trying to approach us in more than one communication line. Now, the way they're using AI, that's we're probably just starting to see this, but the things that became much, much easier for hackers is their ability to generate genuine content and to A/B test different type of content. So, it's very easy to create several hacking emails, phishing emails, try them, see which one wins, focus on that, generate a slightly different version. All the content generation becomes much, much easier, right? It's you just go to ChatGPT and you say, give me an email from a CEO to a CFO that asks, blah, blah, blah. You get an email, and you can play with the style. You can make it shorter and longer. So that really became much, much easier for hackers. One thing we do seeing or suspect we're seeing a faster increase with attacks outside the US. So in the past, English was the primary language, hackers used, and most of the attacks were focused on English-speaking countries. Now with generative AI, they can very easily, generate attacks in less commonly used languages, and so we're seeing in those territories a rise in the amount of phishing attacks as well.
How is AI impacting the cybersecurity industry?
Again, there's the past and there's the future. Obviously, the future is much harder to predict, but we've been using AI for years, and I would say everything we do is around AI. So It's everything around detection and automation, that uses AI, the correlation of multiple sources, and being able to make decisions in, data that is too vast for a deterministic algorithm to correlate that information together. Things like baselining, understanding the content, right? When we think about anti-phishing, we are leveraging language models to say, is there an urgency in this email? What are they asking me? Are they asking me, is there a financial aspect to this request? Are they asking me to change my bank account? Or is it an invoice, and so on and so forth? All of this we've been using for AI to understand the content. We've been using it for stylometry. So it was a little hard to explain before people saw ChatGPT. Now it's much easier to explain to a potential listener that when we use AI, we learn basically the language that is being used by the sender, and we're able to baseline it and to say, how likely is this email coming from a genuine sender that we already know, let's say, because we learned their style and now we're seeing something slightly different. These are some of the things I think we've been using for several years now. Looking forward, I think it will be much broader than security, but the way we interact with machines, the UI is going to be probably different. Coding is going to be probably different because we see machines able to generate, software and code, and so probably acceleration there as well. All of this is still, to come. But, I think AI, I would dare say, in all leading cybersecurity companies, us included, is a cornerstone to everything we do nowadays.
Does the government have a role in protecting families and students from fraud?
I think they do. I would separate liability and responsibility. So from a liability perspective, maybe not. But, can they help? Absolutely. And should they help? I would say absolutely as well. In some way, the government shows that all the transactions are made online and all the communication is made online. This is what the hackers are leveraging. So if they make that interaction safer, for their, whether it's students or someone else, families, as you said, that's something I would say is their responsibility, 100%.
All right, Gil, we appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malantrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.